What's up guys, Nightingale here, welcome back to another video. It's been a minute, I'm sorry. As you can see though, we've been doing a lot of streams on YouTube recently, and that's kind of eaten up, I guess, a reason to be making certain things, because a lot of it's been covered inside the VODs. If you don't know that I'm streaming live, there is a whole live tab, go click it and you're going to see a bunch of archived streams. You can check those out. You get to see basically what was going on Twitch for those of you who haven't been hanging around. But also getting with the holiday stuff has been a little bit tricky, so I haven't been able to do as much covering of things as I wanted to because I've been really busy. But I want to take a moment here because this is important, is the December 2023 developer notice. This is the final one of the year, the first one of the year at the same time. We just wrapped up Red Ash's event, or Red Hood's event, and it was something, that's for sure. So here they start talking about Memory of Goddess, which, if y'all don't know, you can go check the archives. I spent 20 days basically playing that, and I never beat it. I got close. I got there about 10 times, but it was a disaster. But anyway, they're sitting here talking about that. Did you enjoy the first anniversary, Memory of Goddess, the fully voiced Miracle of Snow that we prepared as presents for you? We're really glad to show the results to the developer team, the developer team's hard work, and we humbly accept your feedback about our shortcomings. We are doing our best to develop new content. We will continue to strive and listen to everyone to make Nikke a better game. At the same time, we've received many suggestions to make the minigame Memory of Goddess permanent content. The developer team will refine the minigame's rules and mechanics to give you a more pleasant experience of Memory of Goddess. There will be more minigames coming in the future. Please look forward to them. If they do this, my biggest 2 cents on this is just to everybody, they need to reduce the RNG of challenge mode a little bit. It's not that it necessarily needs to be easier, it's just that the RNG of it was absurd. Of how many runs I had to scrap to some days not even seeing one of the near mandatory pieces once. So to learn the mechanics got really weird. That would be the only thing I would say. Other than that, it was great. It was fun. I played it on stream for nearly 3 weeks straight, and it feels weird not playing it at times. I guess I'm just so used to doing it. So let's begin with today's developer notice for the December event. December event, Neverland. To present you with more surprises and fun in December, we've put in a lot of effort. We are currently preparing a fully voiced story event, Neverland, which we'll hope you enjoy. I wonder who this belongs to. I wonder. It's not like we don't know already. This event will showcase a visual novel minigame which focuses on stories. Alright, this is going to be interesting. Although, we hope all of you will like it. We know each of you have your own preferences, just like other ordinary minigames. We've prepared various types of minigames that require more diverse gameplay in the second half of the year. And in this minigame, you'll be able to adjust the pace temporarily. We've developed the minigame with the intention to give you more stories and different kinds of fun. We hope that you can take your time with it. For the developer team, this is a whole new challenge in minigames we're making. We're hoping you can enlighten us with your suggestions. Your comments will serve as a great experience to our future minigame develop. Thank you for always offering your valuable advice through customer support service center and communities, helping us become a better game. We'd also like to give you a tip on how to enjoy Neverland more. The event field this time is much bigger than usual and better captures the romantic scenery of winter. So be more fun if you observe the animations on the field in the landscape. I hope this tip can be of some help to commanders who find it more convenient to use landscape mode. okay. So the visual novel minigame thing, I'm wondering if it's more something along the lines of memory of Snow White's memories, or memories of Snow White thing that they did in Overzone. I'm wondering if it's more like that, like in a story form. I'm not sure really what they're going to be going for here, but it'll be interesting to see what they do there. This is big news. And now I'm even more curious how they're going to go about this in the future with other things. If this means it is less likely. What's the word I'm looking for? It's less likely we'll see the major story reruns, and they'll be all done as archive events at this point. And so it is a one and done thing. If you want the rate up of it, it is the time to get it. If not, it becomes gold mileage later on, which let's read what they have to say, and then I'll talk about this a little bit more, because there is some numbers here that you want to understand. Recently, we received many feedback about rerun events and rerun characters. As such, we decided to bring back Rupee Winter Shopper and Anne Miracle Fairy as the first rerun characters in anticipation of the winter event. Do not pull either one of these. They're not worth wasting your currencies on. Anne is a revive unit, but she doesn't offer much after that. The rerun mechanics are based on incorporation of previous survey answers and our internal discussion results as follows. During the winter event, Rupee and Anne will appear in the limited time recruitment with other new limited Nikkes. Okay, so there is two, so they both are. So okay, so that tells you that both of them are, unless it's just how they're wording, with our other new limited Nikkes with a certain probability. The chance of recruiting an SSR into winter events limited recruitment is 4%, while the chance of recruiting the new limited Nikke is 2%, so the new one will be normal just as it always has been. The probability rates as the same as current rates. Of course, the chance of recruiting a pilgrim is still 0.5%, and the chance of recruiting an SSR will be lowered by 2.5% from the current 1.5%, and there will be a new 1% chance newly added for recruiting the rerun characters Rupee and Anne. So as far as spending your gold tickets, you don't need to do that here on them. This means Winter Rupee and Anne will each share a 0.5 chance of appearing. So in simpler words, the probability info of Winter's event will be 4% equals 2% new limited Nikkes plus 0.05 Pilgrim plus 1% returning and 0.05 for everything else. So the probability should be you are pulling one of the limited units with basically you're going to hit either the 50-50 on it's another SSR or a Pilgrim. This is probably good. And then as they state down here, the rerun characters can also be obtained for 200 gold mileage tickets during the limited time recruitment. So this basically comes down to you don't have to pull everything anymore. You don't have to pull everything that shows up that is a limited unit, not collab. We're going to keep those separate in our terms of pilgrims, limiteds, and collabs. Make sure that those always stay separate in your mind. They are not the same thing. They are pilgrims or pilgrims. Limiteds are going to be anything seasonal. This and the Christmas and the summer units are limited units, and then collab units are different. So for our normal IP stuff, you don't have to pull them. You can always come back later and collect them when they rerun. Save your pities for more important things. Let's see what the new unit is, their kit is, because we already know what the unit is if you know where to look. Aside from the mechanics above, the rerun method and detail may undergo more optimizations. We are open to suggestions and feedback for the first rerun this time. Please feel free to share your feedback on social media. So I don't really have an issue with this. This seems pretty fair and balanced. It takes the pressure off of The reruns, because I mean, it's not like we really need another banner. It's better, honestly, it is better that they are all on one, so that you're not having to go, well, now I need to go pull on the said new unit, and then have to pull on, you know, now I gotta go pull on this, now I gotta go pull on this. It does keep it from having to feel like that, and I hate this because there is a chance that somebody strikes the worst luck and pulls the worst one here, which is Rupee, multiple times before they ever see the 2% rate up, because it's gotcha, it's how things happens. All right, so improvements to items. Next up, let me update you on improvements to items we've made. We will enhance the function that specifies the quantities when you use items. This improvement will apply to consumables such as selection boxes, credit cases, beginning in December. We hope, along with this, growing your Nikkes and using the shop will be much more convenient. Other than that, we will be making improvements to easier equip Harmony cubes. By December, you'll be able to check the cube's skill info in the Nikke info page and change the Nikke equipped with the cube with more ease. Hopefully this optimization will make solo raid and other main contents more user-friendly. Yes, that is something that is a little annoying at times, which is having to go back and forth between the two pages, but overall it's really not that big of a deal once you know what your cubes do. But this is more, I think, a better quality of life change for newer players coming in so that they can learn their cubes, because once you understand what all your cubes are, you don't need to know a lot of info. Just this unit needs to be in this cube, period, and I'm out. Nikke page search function. Here is an update to the Nikke page function, which we promised the first anniversary. Currently, there are two main goals for this improvement. First is the function to filter Nikkes with the red dot indicator to grow them quickly and conveniently. The second function is to search the Nikkes in a mind accurately by typing their name. We're expecting to roll out this function by January. Moreover, we're preparing to update the Nikkepedia to make it easier to search for Nikkes you don't own. Once again, thank you to everyone who gave us support and various suggestions in the celebration of the first anniversary. I'm pretty okay with that. I don't really think we need it. The biggest thing I wish for the Nikke page in general is if I pick a category or use a category, it just stays there until maybe like game shut down. So like, or just in general, I mean, I'm even okay with that, because I think right now it defaults to by power, but if I set it up by rarity or by whatever, it just stays there, is what I would wish. But honestly, it's such a nitpick thing. I don't really think that there's too much to be had there. Additional skill level development materials. Now, let me tell you more about the plan we've also mentioned in the first video. In January, we plan to introduce an overclocking function in Simulation Room, which will give additional skill development materials. Overclock is an additional mode where you can challenge yourself with the 5 difficulty in Simulation Room. You can continue and enjoy the existing features in Simulation Room comfortably, and will provide various difficulty adjustment options so that players who like concentrated shooting experience can have more choices. Overclock will adopt a seasonal system, which will with each season lasting 2 weeks or longer. In the initial season will be a beta test seasons. We will gradually optimize this feature. We encourage you to explore various game modes and give us valuable suggestions. With overclock mode and simulation as a starting point, we will implement a plan to enhance the quality and quantity of various contents in 2024. When the time comes to meet you all again, I will organize our development plan for next year's contents and share more information. Lastly, as we approach, before we knew it, winter has approached. 23 has come to an end. We'd just like to, we've been doing just like what we've been doing in the past year. We will give it our all development team. We are very sorry for the delayed update and improvements to manage and operate the fatigue on snipers and rocket launchers, as the answers to your survey questions do not show a clear indication towards a particular side. The developer team is still engaged in intense discussion and meticulous analysis. We will share our progress again with you through future developer notes. This is a complex plan after all, so we ask for your kind understanding. Another flu season is here. Wish you all a healthy and safe winter, and that's pretty much it. So, I think the biggest thing off of the skill development materials that I would say is I feel like there needs to be a 6th level. There needs to be a 6th level than whatever they're planning on here. Or I will go out on say this. The biggest disappointment from Anniversary was they used the words every weekend. Period. They didn't say of Anniversary, but just every weekend. We were going to get Burst Weekend every weekend. The subtext was not there that it was just for Anniversary, and I've double checked and I still haven't seen it unless I am blind and missing where that subtext is. It said every weekend, and that's something that was an absolute massive quality of life and such a breath of fresh air for those weeks in the Anniversary that said, this is great, this is going to be huge for the long-term thing. I don't think we need a 6th stage if we just have Burst Weekend every weekend. This allows you to kind of do the same thing. It gets more materials, it gets more materials in the game. It doesn't need to be, with the overclocking function, and depending on if this is a one-off every 2 weeks or if this is just a daily thing you do, doesn't really get into detail on what overclocking is in terms when it talks about this. And this was something I wanted to just talk about. Is it doesn't talk about that it is a one and done thing. It says it's a season, so which makes me think that it's a one-off. It's a one-off crack at it. And maybe if this gives the rewards of Burst Weekend of having 2 Burst Weekends in a row, maybe then it becomes worth, but it doesn't do anything for the gearing aspect, which is still another reason why Burst Weekend is so important, because it gives you another chance at getting double nothing and double custom modules and abnormal gear, which I will be making a video on hopefully soon talking about that. So overall, we're going to begin and end the year with a pretty good start. Hope Memory of Goddess comes back, making that a seasonal thing, doing stuff, changing up some rules. There's a lot that can be done to Memory of Goddess that can make it a lot of fun as repeatable content. Because I think there's a lot of interesting things you could do, challenging your union, going back and forth, and just having fun with the event. It was great time-killing content, which is what this game desperately needs if you are a content creator. Now, if you're just a normal player playing around daily and you've got 20 other gacha games to play, you don't need content like that because you're trying to blast through it. But as somebody who actually just wants to hang out in the Nikke category, playing Nikke and doing Nikke stuff, it gets a little hard to do when you burn through all that content in that first hour of your stream. This definitely helps stretch things out. December, the Neverland event, their side stories have been great, so I'm wondering what's going to be done here. We just did the Christmas Anne story, or the Christmas Rupee and Anne side story. Top notch. I wish that was there at the beginning of the year. It probably would have hooked me and kept me in the game, if I'm being real. Because as I mentioned today on stream when we did it, there is something way more impactful about hearing their voices in these stories. And it made the event, because I told them about where I quit, which was around the 2nd day of paying attention to the story at all. By day 2, I was just hitting the skip button, and I did not make it to the first week of, or the 2nd week of Anne's story. I had completely quit by that point. I was completely disengaged. I wanted nothing to do with it because the clicking sound just gets on my nerves, and I didn't really want to read, especially when every other moment of our gameplay, we were engrossed in this story that was fully voice acted. It felt like it was just thrown to the side. This wasn't really that important. We just threw this in here to say it was in here because it's easy to write text, but it's supposedly more hard to record vocals for it. It's also, the game was just brand new. But this is also a good thing because, you know. Anyway, this is going to be great. Rerun characters. This is a breath of fresh air. We now can really give the advice that you can skip most of your limiteds because 90% of them are bad. Summer Anise, everything else is below. Remember that. As far as your limited. So if you don't have Summer Anise, when summer comes around, you'll be able to get her. Whether it be through recruiting the new one or just buying her with tickets. So make sure y'all have 200 tickets ready for any new player. You have 200 tickets ready to go by the summer event. I don't know if it'll be because they did 2 last year, so I don't know which one it'll be. They may do all of them, or they may do split them up. But just ready to have 200 tickets for summer. You will want Summer Anise for those of you who started at 2B. Who start near or Red Ash. You're going to want that way more than you're going to want. You do not want Rupee. I know the collectors out there are going to get it, and I know the collectors are going to get it, but you don't need these 2 new units. You need Summer Anise. So save 200 tickets for that, and let's hope that the new character is good. Improvements to items doesn't really make much sense. Harmony Cubes is definitely a beginner thing. Great, awesome search page, cool. It'll help when somebody's like, hey, what does this Nikke do? Quick pop up. Additional skill level materials, great, cool. This will be good for the long run. So overall, it's pretty good. Let's see what how the month plays out. Do keep an eye out for the end of December. That is where Modernia showed up. It was December 29th, 2022. And we'll need to see if they start talking anything about new story, which I think is a little too early. But let's see what shapes up and if any new Pilgrim shows up there. If not, don't expect anything until at least the 1.5 anniversary, if they continue on those, which doesn't make sense because it's 2 Pilgrims a year. Isn't that big of a deal at that point. So y'all take care, enjoy, and we'll see you in the next one.